something interesting to talk about, okay? And it's that you guys all better start treating me with a little more respect, because I'm no longer just a streamer. I am an official source. This got 10 million views. Breaking! Gen Z males are turning away from Donald Trump, but are not aligning with the Democratic Party either, expressing frustration with both sides, per Atrioc. You can just put that and it's confirmed. We're there, we're through the looking glass. And honestly, I respect it. Yes, I'm a primary source. I'm gonna tell you a lot of things now, per Atrioc. Per Atrioc, people should donate more to Twitch streamers. Per Atrioc, I think hot dogs, pretty good food. So this came out, and obviously I got a lot of flack for it. Some of it was about like, I know who Atrioc is. What the f is, he's a streamer. But some of it was like, they didn't even know who I was, and it was more like this. Be hard here with an AI profile picture per some propaganda outlet masquerading as polling who you've never heard of. Thinks I'm a polling station, bro. Like it's Atrioc News Network or something, bro. I got soul read. So I didn't even know where this came from, because it's like I haven't made a video like this anytime recently. And I found out that this breaking comes from the Gavin Newsom interview. That's where this comes from. They took a line from the Gavin Newsom interview and then reported it, I guess, a month later as breaking news from Atrioc. They are turning on Donald Trump in a way that will come apparent pretty soon. But they're not turning towards the Democratic Party.
That's the difference, yeah.
Yeah, they're equally as upset with them, which is what I think the problem is. I mean, it goes on, but that was the general idea. That was the breaking news, right? As I just basically said, that the polling shows Gen Z is becoming more openly nihilistic with politics. On the whole, obviously you're gonna find somebody who's one way, somebody's the other. But on the whole, they're getting more and more upset with the status quo in general. And a lot of them put their faith in Trump because they thought he was an outsider. And now the polling is turning against that. And I want to back this up a little bit, because I you know, as much as per Atrioc is enough for me, the reason I said that, especially at the time, was reading stuff like this. For example, there was this Newsweek poll. Actually, this is a YouGov poll, I believe, but Donald Trump's support among Gen Z is eroding. And again, Newsweek, before you accuse them of pure bias, the week before, whatever, had said this: the worst poll of the year for Democrats. Democrats are polling even worse. Yeah, Politico ad, underwater, young voters, Black Americans sour on Trump as job market struggles. The general idea of my point in that podcast and my points now is that young people, more than anyone, are getting deeply affected by this weak economy. Youth unemployment has never been so high, at least since the Great Recession. So they're upset, they're angry. They thought things would change more quickly, and now they're getting disillusioned. There's a lot of issues in America, but those ones I believe are driving the change. Associated Press, the score from Gen Z is Trump's worst of any age group by 20 points. It includes Latinos as well, but these two groups, Latinos and Gen Z, had a huge rightward swing for the election. Gen Z was like 50-50, and they're usually way more left-leaning or whatever in this election. But then after the election, it has eroded super quickly. Like the polls had them all the way up and then shooting way down. It's cause of the same things, the economy and tariffs, okay? These are the main issues, because these are directly impactful to young people who are like screaming to be able to get on the ladder of like, I get a job, a good job, not a shit job, a good job that has a future. I get a chance to get a house. I have a chance to build some net worth. Like, these are the things people are screaming for. And because Trump it's only first year, but they're getting the idea that he's not going to fix these problems. And it's what's causing them to turn away. This specifically though, when I spoke about that in the Gavin Newsom interview, was the poll I was thinking of, okay? Where the change between Feb 25 and July 25, which was like a latest poll at the time, was minus 27 points among 18 to 29-year-olds. This is a massive, massive drop off. So even though I'm saying per Atrioc, it's actually per a lot of sources. That there's a clear shift. There's a clear shift. Now, people that are against Trump will see these polling and be, I don't know, they'll be kind of enthused. They'll be like, well, hell yeah, they're going to turn against him. But what I was trying to get across in that interview, especially to Gavin Newsom, was like, hey, they're turning away from him. Some of them are going even farther right. Some of them are spiraling off into nihilism, and some of them are going way left of the status quo of Democrats. They're not like flipping back and forth. They're getting out of they're becoming disillusioned in general. Like, they're not just going back to Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, bro. It's more of like an overall anger. This is what I saw recently. This is after I made those comments, but I looked at the latest YouGov poll, and it shows, again, Trump unfavorability among 18 to 29 higher than any other group. Significantly. It's gone way up. I mean, it's like they have a very low favorable opinion, very high unfavorable. They're clearly not feeling like he's the right choice for, again, he's a 79-year-old man. who's primarily concerned with things benefiting him, bro. He's not doing a lot to actually benefit the economy of the United States. However, I also found when people think of Chuck Schumer in this same YouGov poll, it's not good. He has an even lower favorability rating, and while his unfavorable isn't as high, it's only because most people don't know who the fuck he is. One thing I've realized, and I realize it, I feel like I used to know this really well, but because I've been trapped in the streaming and politics bubble, and I have an audience that's more engaged than usual, I forget sometimes that the average person doesn't give a fuck about 95% of this. They don't know these people. They don't know who they're voting on. They don't know what's happening. They don't care. Like it barely impacts them. They have a few broad stroke ideas on things they want or don't want, but the day-to-day specifics don't matter. So, I'm just trying to back up my little per H-Rock post there. It wasn't just me making shit up, bro. It's like, I think there's a stronger, I think people are feeling it. I think young people are feeling this. They're feeling a higher rate of disillusionment. They're feeling disappointed. If they were Republicans, they're feeling disappointed with that party and the other party. If they're Democrats, they're feeling disappointed with Democrats and super angry at their inability to stand up to what's happening with Republicans. It's a broader feeling. And then the FT, this is well after I made that comment. This came out, I think, today. This is Republicans specifically. So this is somebody that voted for Trump and openly admitted to voting for Trump. So they're proud of it. If you ask them around the election or around February, high approval. But even Gen Z Republicans have been the massive drop off under 18 to 34. So young people, if they're 65 plus, 90 plus approval. If you're a 65-year-old Republican, this has been the greatest presidency of your life. But if you're a 18-year-old Republican, it has felt like, whoa, where's, a lot of the promises, less foreign conflicts, better economy, all that stuff did not come true, right? And it's actually looking like the opposite. Similar polls here, again, adults age under 30, way higher approval around early part of the year, start of the year. That fell off much faster than the rest of adults. Young people. That's the broad theme of my topics this whole year, bro. This whole year I've been specifically noticing 18 to 30 range are just screaming in every way they can. And by the way, turning away from everything can be considered screaming. Just disengaging from the whole world is in a way a scream for help. A scream of what the is going on? I just a complete being upset with the normal way of doing business. And by the way, I'm not fully supportive of this because I think a lot of times it's not helpful. And I'm scared of how many young people are turning towards authoritarianism on the left and the right. Both people are I just need some strong person to come in and fix everything. That always spooks me. We have a long history in the world of people doing that when they're desperate and it doesn't go well. What I'm trying to say is I can understand why. It's not crazy why it's happening. People are wow, what the hell's going on? Why are you people so different? It's not crazy. They can't get a house, bro. They can't get on the ladder. The job opportunities are worse. The unemployment's higher. I just saw we've been talking about how we've been in a no hire, no fire economy, a no hire, some fire economy. Amazon, 30K corporate jobs about to be laid off. Meta about to do massive layoffs. Even the companies that are doing well are preparing massive layoffs, bro. This just happened today. It's not shocking. Again, this chart I think was really illustrative. So that they polled people of different ages about where they thought wealth comes from. When they asked old people, most of them think wealth comes from earning it because a lot of them in their time, that was pretty true. You feel like you could work hard and get ahead. If you did a little extra, you could make more money. There was opportunities, but what they don't understand is how much that shifted. The headwinds went up, the tailwinds. The wind in their sails has turned into a wind against the sails. It has turned into a general drag that makes it harder. So now most people will say wealth comes from taking advantage of others. That's what we're saying. So people are getting more upset with that. It's 50-29. It's never been this number. It's never been over 50%. And so again, I bring it back to Trump. That's what I talk about. Again, I've been pretty negative on Trump this year and largely for this reason. And the reason I attack these issues the most is because these are issues that are the most important to people. They say it. This is where he's underwater. He's underwater on inflation more than anything. This is the most unpopular issue. This is the last election. This is a 2024 election, Kamala Trump. What was the most important issue? The economy by a lot. And that's even with them constantly talking about immigration. Trump mentioned the economy way less than immigration. Immigration, for Republican voters especially, was a big issue, but not as big as the economy was number one, bro. This is what people are screaming about. I don't know why it's so hard to get. And that's even people that are partisan. So look, we got a pretty partisan country, right? The view on the economy flips based on president. When Biden becomes president, Democrats go, the economy's good. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Republicans, they think it's good when Trump's there. They hate it. They hate it under Biden. Then Trump goes president. Now it's great again. But you can see it's going down. That like the honeymoon period only lasts so long. It only lasts so long. And people have real lived experiences. They notice the price of shit going up. They notice the job opportunities. It's not crazy. I'm having an interview this week with Melody Wright. Melody Wright, a housing expert, one of, I think, the best voices on housing in all of America. She literally drives out to like these actual developments. She talks to every part of the stack, from the NAR all the way down to home buyers, all the way, you know, every stack. I'm interviewing her this week because I love her Substack. I'm doing that on Wednesday, ideally. But again, the number of home sales has dropped to like 0. The average age of a first-time buyer has never been higher in my lifetime. It went from like 29-30 to now it's like 39-40 for the first-time home buyer. It's crazy. And of course that's gonna lead to disillusionment if you're young. People are just understandably pissed about it. So I just wanted to back up my my little per atriarch here. I wanted to make sure. Yeah, I'm not just saying that for nothing, bro. The data backs it up. Talk to people in your life. It'll back it up. His approval rating among under 35s who voted for him had fallen by 25 percentage points since February, the largest decline in any age group. And they interviewed this guy. He's changed his mind on Trump. He hasn't kept his promises. He started at Terra 4, now prices are going up. The government shutdown is stupid. I don't know what he's doing. I'm close to calling myself an independent. That's what I feel is happening. Not for everybody, but for a lot of people. And by the way, you know, so I'm railing against Trump for this, which I've done plenty of times, but I also want to rail against, man, I can't imagine missing the moment harder than what the DNC's doing. It's like the ball's teed up. It's never been so easy to hit the ball, and he's like whiffing. You know, we've talked about the Graham Plattner stuff, but I saw the polling on Plattner. They did polling on Graham Plattner after all this controversy, and his support among young people has, if anything, increased, because now he's seen as more of an outsider. Among like the 45 plus Democrat leaning, you know, people in Maine, it did hurt him. I'm not gonna lie, it did hurt him. And that's one of the reasons I was kind of disappointed. Actually, I was pretty disappointed, was because you want the guy to be able to win a general. You want him to be able to get his message out to a broad populace. It sucks to do that. It did hurt him. But among young people, it did not. Because I think young people are just like, they're just really willing to try out. They don't want the 79-year-old establishment candidate. They just don't want it, bro. They need somebody different, bro. It's not like a want, it's a need. And that's the point I've been trying to get across. And I think it's becoming more understood and accepted, but I've been saying it for a year plus now, basically around since the election. I was like, this is the story of our time. And it's happening in all over the world. And there's Gen Z protests in like 10 different countries that are upending the governments. And even in like established countries like France, Germany, the UK, you know, young people are shifting to whatever they feel is gonna give them a more serious change. Not always in good ways. I'm not happy about it. I'm just describing this is what's happening.